a reality, unlike me. I didn't have those. It's deeply personal. And I think that's one of the reasons you see it continue to be a top priority.
As a final question, since we're sitting here in the south side of Chicago that has been deeply harmed by an epidemic of gun violence, I wanted to ask, what kind of work does Brady do with community organizations on the ground in places here like the south side?
Yeah, that's a great question. Well, as a national organization, we focus very much our work on the history of litigation that we've undertaken and the history we have of suing the ATF, honestly, for information about the kinds of guns that are flowing into communities like Chicago, Milwaukee, Oakland, Los Angeles, the list goes on and on. Brady has a program called the Combating Crime Gun Initiative. It's called a supply side approach. And what we're talking about there is really what I alluded to before, about 5% of gun dealers are fueling the sale of about 90% of crime guns. In order to solve the problems of communities and really neighborhoods we're talking about, you have to reduce the number of guns that are flooding the streets. That work goes hand in hand with the kind of violence interdiction work that helps provide treatment and therapy to individuals to recognize that the experience of everyday gun violence creates trauma, job opportunities, educational opportunities, etc. Really, those efforts go hand in hand. The first is making it so that people aren't finding a gun on every street corner. The second is providing a leg up and access to services. Brady works with typically many organizations in the communities to help support those efforts. Those investments are very, very important. And for listeners who are particularly interested in these and other issues, what I would commend to you as a plug is our podcast called Red, Blue, and Brady. For the month of February, Black History Month, we've focused explicitly in much detail with some incredible guests on the history of gun violence, its impact on especially minority communities, especially African Americans, and the things that are being done across communities to really make a difference around the issue. So listen there. I learn something every time. I know a lot about the issue, but it's complex, and I think it offers some hope for things that are really being done to make a difference around the issue.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And that's a wrap on another episode of UC3P. Credits go to Arjun Motta for producing and engineering, Caroline Kubzansky for co-interviewing, and Sidhant Wadhera for co-interviewing and editing. Our assistant production managers are Arjun Motta, Olu Ogidan, Samia Karun, and Sidhant Wadhera. Our finance director is Donovan Harvey. Our publisher is Yaning Wong. Our intro music is Knockout 2 by Titubi, and our outro music is Yes Yes Y'all by Matt Large. Our cover art was designed by Shirin Raban. If you want to hear more podcasts, check out our website, uc3p.org. And if you want to contact us, our email is the uc3p@gmail.com. Please remember to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform and share the show with a friend. My name is David Raban, and stay tuned. We'll be back next week to talk about how communities organize around gun violence with Mary Stoner Saunders. On the next episode of UC3P.
Love is this emotion and this thing that we feel, but love also is the underpinnings of pain and anger, because we don't feel pain and anger if something that we love isn't threatened. And so my view is we only fight for what we love. And part of the whole trajectory of advocacy in my mind is it can't be hypothetical. It can't be theoretical. It has to be coming from a place inside.